Hi guys, and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today we're taking a look at eGold. We are paired up with the USDT on this chart. We're starting with the weekly, and Binance is our data source, right? So there's a few things we need to talk about here on this weekly chart. We obviously have to acknowledge the relative strength index has been performing quite well. We are heading up to the overbought area on the RSI. We're currently tracking at 62, so there's a good price action that has happened so far. We obviously have found some areas of resistance right now. This is where we are currently tracking at the point of recording this video. Now, we'll get into that when we go down into the daily and the hourly in a moment. But right now, good motion to the upside has been found. We're obviously looking to try to get into these interesting areas on the ELROND protocol here and to see exactly where things are likely to go next, right? So with the RSI being at 61.9 right now, we're going to switch this out. We're going to throw on that stochastic RSI. Here we can actually see that we are overbought, right? But now this can be sustained for quite some time until our RSI, our regular relative strength index, is also kind of coming to the same consensus that we need to see a pullback, right? So although we are overbought at the moment, this can be sustained for a while. So I'm not expecting any kind of immediate pullbacks of significance right now when it comes to eGold, unless of course the entire markets decide to have a bit of a reversal. Something for Bitcoin obviously does appear to be looking like it needs to have some kind of pullback, and if that does happen, then we could potentially see eGold also pull back as well. But for now, everything on this weekly chart is looking pretty good, and there's good amount of motion to the upside right now. We have a look at the volume, and we can see that the volumes have actually been decreasing most recently at the top end here. But overall, we're missing this kind of volume that we've had previously, right? The volumes overall are really low. So at the moment, there's nothing really to happen but good growth in the future for eGold here. So that's looking pretty good and very positive. When we throw on the moving averages here, we can't actually show this on until we go down to the daily. So we're going to hop down to the daily for a second. And what we're going to do is we're going to obviously just talk about that stochastic that's all the way down in the oversold area. Huge amounts of growth potential here for the stochastic RSI on the daily chart. Good progress has been made today, up now against the 618 of the Fibonacci retracement tool. This is where we're going to find the resistance and where we were so heavily concentrated around before, right? So this is a good area of support. So right now, this is going to be a heavy resistance line for us. So with so much potential to the upside, this is going to be a key thing for us to watch over the next few days, to whether or not we're going to break the 618, the 702, and the 786 and get the closed candle above the $204. That's going to be the big bull signal that really takes eGold back into all-time high territory. This is something that we saw happen with Cardano, and again, this area is going to be absolutely vital. I will, of course, draw on our usual regular yellow box here, just highlighting the area of focus, right? This area is the area of focus. This is where we're rejected. This is where we want to close. And when doing so, we'll go past the all-time high of $246.12, right? So during this bull run, there's a good amount of motion to the upside. And for those who are unaware, obviously our targets haven't changed. First target is still $365, followed by $558. Third target comes in at $751, and then we top out the bull run at $870. According to the Fibonacci extension levels of the 4.236, and again, this is based on all-time high area and the retracement that we had during our fourth wave. Okay, so everything here is lining up nicely with that kind of price expectation and where we expect eGold to go during closing quarter three, going into quarter four, right? Finishing the year nice and strong. Now, what I am going to do is just take off the stochastic, throw back on here the relative strength index, and here we can see that we are in the overbought area, right? So we are heading back up. Now, with the stochastic being more price sensitive, we can see that we're already down the lower end, right? So we have the possibility now of just pushing up a little bit more before we actually have this kind of pullback in again. Now, we take a look at the history of where eGold has been, and we've been up in the overbought area for a very long time previously. So just entering this area right now is not a problem for eGold and has a huge amount of potential to continue the growth here. But we will be looking for a pullback at some point in the near future where we can get this corrected as a good level so we can continue the price discovery after the fact. So what I will do is I will put back on now the stochastic, because this is always a good one to look at sideways trades that we have been doing here. So nice and healthy corrected, push to the upside is due. And again, we'll look to see if we can get past these resistance lines in the next few days. Now, when we throw the volumes on here, we can see that overall during this correction period just here, we were actually decreasing the volume. The volumes are just spiked up now. So if that does continue, then we should have the motion that we need to get above here and get a closed candle above the $204. Okay, now that ideally has to be a weekly closed candle. We need to close there on a Sunday. Daily ones are good, but they sometimes actually get the reversal, right? So we need to see a weekly, a nice long time period closed candle above here. That's what you saw for Cardano. That's what really helped push that one to the next level. Now, the other thing we need to obviously acknowledge is the moving averages. We can see that this has been a good area of support for us now since we got the crossover here. We tested this area quite nicely a couple of times and it's working well. So the 200 moving average is working really, really good for us right now. The 50 moving average again was support down here. We had that cross, but again, we're looking to get this this crossover again in the very near future as well. So the next few days and weeks for eGold here is looking pretty good so far. So I'll take these back off. We'll throw on the Bollinger Bands and we'll just check that, yeah, we're spiking up right now for the Bollinger Bands here. So again, this is something that we could potentially be expecting a nice spike to the upside over here, right? So getting a closed candle up here could really only be a little while away now. So that's going to be really positive news. We'll take the Bollinger Bands back off again. And instead now what we're going to do is jump down into our hourly view, right? So here we can see the action that we've had. Now we are overbought on this hourly, so we are looking for loss of momentum. We're looking to pull back our stochastic RSI into a more reasonable area. Now that does not mean that we're going to lose a lot of price here. What we need to see is we need to see the volume drop out. Now we're seeing good volume come in here, good volume pushing to the upside, and then we see a volume dropping. Now that's going to help protect the price, which means that we actually just trade sideways here until everything lines up nicely on the hourly. That allows us to continue the growth to the upside. So what we look for from a volume point of view is nice and low and then a spike, right? So keep this nice and low and then spike up, okay? So price is currently being protected here because of the volumes not being there. That will help correct our stochastic. If we switch that out for the relative strength index, and again, we can look for this pullback. We're looking for loss of momentum overall. Again, we've been overbought, but again, you know, we look back at the history of this thing and we can be up here for quite some time and we can have the loss of momentum just take out without actually doing too much price damaging at all. So for this to be corrected, I don't think we need to actually do too much damage here. So we'll be watching that and monitoring the RSI along with our stochastic very, very closely. But we are aware that it is overbought. But of course, we obviously have to use the more price sensitive right now. Again, also overbought. So we are looking for pullback, but we are looking at lowering that volume to protect the price whilst we find a good support line. Now, when doing so, if we just grab hold of my yellow box area here, I think that if we're looking at some interesting areas, this area might be a good accumulation zone for anyone who is looking to acquire. This is where I would potentially be looking at below this wick here and looking for this support. This seems to be a sensible area that we might get a good bounce from on this hourly chart, right? So pay attention to this area. This is where I will be paying attention to in my eGold positions. And again, this kind of comes in about $162 and down to as low as $154. That would be my kind of area that I would be focusing in on for my long-term kind of buys. Now, with that being said, obviously we're really close to the 618, so we're looking to get the spike above there, and I do think that's only really just around the corner here for eGold. But if we're ever in doubt on any of these things that are going on with the hourlies and the dailies, it's important that we do zoom out, right? We can take a look at the daily chart. We obviously know where things are going. We know where they're heading. We can go out into the weekly chart, right? And we can have confidence in knowing that there's a good area of support and there's a few areas of resistance on this journey. To the upside, I'll quickly just mark up the resistance that I can see here, and I'll keep that level for us so we can see it's right there. So again, 190, getting past 190 then just puts us right the way back up to this area here. Where we were wicking quite nicely at 244. So lots of progress being made, lots of good things to look forward to in the future. It's always important that we do zoom out and we take a look at the bigger picture and we don't get too focused in on what's going on with the hourlies and of course the daily charts. But everything is looking like it's lining up quite nicely for eGold right now. So hopefully everyone has been enjoying the nice gains that they've seen today. We are expecting a pullback. It'll be a short pullback there. I don't think it's going to be anything too dramatic. And then obviously we'll be pushing right back into our yellow box area, the 618, the 702, 786, looking for that closed weekly candle, which will be a big bull signal taking us to all-time highs, in my opinion. If you have found this video useful and informative, guys, do hit the like button. I really appreciate it. If you are new, make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will not miss another update. Right, with that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.